What's going on, guys? I know I've never steered away from talking about drinking. I do enjoy my beer. I do enjoy some drinks on the weekends. And for the most part, I'm pretty level-headed when it comes to that. I don't think alcohol and politics is a smart idea. And talking about anything, religion and politics and alcohol never mix. I think that's the biggest way to get into a fight. And it's not a fight that I'm willing to get in, because I do think that everybody has their own opinion. Whether you're wrong or right, whether you're actually paying attention to the truth or you're just sitting here blabbing on about whatever, that's nothing for me to talk about, because I don't talk about politics on my channel. But what I do talk about is people putting their foot in their fucking mouth. I've watched this guy's content very rarely, but I do watch it. And I've passed by his content here and there, and I've never really seen anything just go absurd. He just, corrects people all day. That's about all he does. He just goes after one other TikToker, and nonstop, that's pretty much half his content is quote-unquote correcting Harry. You don't know who I'm talking about. It's older millennial. Now, he has been drunk on stream a few times. And like I said, alcohol, drinking, whatever, streaming, not a big deal to me, as long as you're just not making your stream like, hey, pay for my shots, let me get sloshed drunk, and then I'm going to piss myself. That's, I think, a little dumb. I think when your point of your stream is drinking and not drinking is just happening, like, I think drinking and chilling is a cool thing as long as everybody's talking about cool things. Like me and my buddies, we talk about nerdy stuff. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, music, bands, video games, anything that kind of piques our interest, this type of things we would talk about around a bonfire, and it usually works. Politics is not one of those things. Now, you're going to see a clearly inebriated older millennial that's completely stumbling. I'm not going to show you, it's like an hour and a half long debate, and like I said, I'm not going to get into the details of the entire debate. I know plenty of people are probably going to say it below. Well, he said this, he's done this. Don't give a shit. This is the only thing that kicks it off for me.
Sure, go to town, play it.
Yeah, so I guess we've kind of reached an
No,
end.
I'm perfectly fine with throwing mentally disabled people off a mountain.
All right. Okay, well, I guess it was fine talking to you.
I think that's
the
pretty
bullet you want to bite.
self-explanatory.
No, I mean, that's just the reality for me, is that I believe in the betterment of humanity. I don't think we should care, because here's the reality of the world, right? Like, people.
So what? Like, was that sarcasm? I really
No,
hope
that was straightforward.
you would advocate for throwing. What was it was mentally disabled people.
Yeah, I think people who are going to hold humanity back, we should eliminate them.
Now, yeah, he's literally talking about throwing people off a cliff, which is completely monstrous. And he doubles down, and I'll show you the clip here in a minute, because he doesn't own up to jack shit. First off, super drunk, super inebriated, and acting like an ass. And his self-control in that situation was zero. And I get that you're debating people and whatever you find, you're super passionate about. But when you are drunk, there is no mindset that is going to be correct in that situation. And that's what you have done. And they go to ask, what about autistic people? And he's like, well, autistic people are superheroes. They're not a detriment to our society. Well, I didn't say that part, but basically he's, he doesn't suggest that they are a problem to our society, just other disabled people. I don't think he knows the numbers. Now, this is just a few. He's probably going to find something else to say that I'm wrong, but I've seen anywhere from 61% to 85%, depends on which study you're looking at. I think one's global, one's US, but National Autistic Society, so the United Nations, throughout the entire world, apparently is roughly 16% are full-time, 32%. So 70%, we'll say roughly 70%, 60 to 70% of people, adult-wise, are disabled. They are unemployed. They cannot have a job. I can only speak about people with ADHD. It's hard for us to keep a job because when we get hyperfixated, sometimes we could be up for a day. The only other person that I know that's like that in my experience is people with bipolar disorder. They have the same thing. They can hyperfixate and be up for a day or two, but at the same time, they also have other issues that cause them to be up for a couple of days. ADHD is almost exclusively anxiety and then hyperfixation. You could be up for 24 hours and people will be able to tell. Your brain is turning to mush. I've roughly stayed up for 36 hours at one point in time, and it was super unhealthy, and luckily it was a weekend. I worked one day for that week, which was like Friday. Well, I worked the whole week and then was up from Friday all the way to Sunday, and I finally crashed. It is a hard thing to deal with, but I can only imagine when having autism and ADHD and probably other mental disabilities, that's still under what he considers a disability, at least to me. And you cannot course correct that. I don't care how you put it, because you can't be okay with Mama being stuck in a wheelchair that probably is deaf in one ear, so she can't answer phones all day. She should have been retired. And yeah, she may have made some bad decisions, but she's stuck. For you to be like, yeah, well, she's disabled, she's got to go. I hope you're not talking about people with Down syndrome, because honestly, as quite a few people would understand, well, yeah, it's funny to laugh at what they do. I'm not laughing at them. I think it's crazy that most of them are just living their life to the fullest. They're the only people I see that are genuinely happy to see everybody every single time they see them. They're the only people that will constantly show affection, hug. It's some of the nicest people I've ever seen. And I think it's just so crazy that they're so innocent, nice, and they can also tell jokes, have fun, and joke about themselves if you get the right type of people. So you can't be talking about them. I guess blind and deaf people, well, they're kind of born that way most of the time, where accidents happen. I hope you ain't talking about them. There's a long list of where disabilities and what he's considering a situation to be the same. Now, there's other things he did say. I'm not going to get into details of those. I think this whole debate was not what was supposed to go down. If you ask me, here's a conspiracy theory, put on your tinfoil hats, but I think this is all manufactured. I think it is to drive up views on both sides. Some people said that he was, there was a comment said that he was being blackmailed and that he was told to say all these things. If that comes out, whoa, that would be wild. But right now, as of right now, he hasn't said anything close to that. He's only said that he's pretty much going to double down on what he said.
Let me quickly explain to the liberals why I don't give a fuck about the videos you're making about me. And I'm going to quote Rick and Morty here. I am not affected by your boos because I've seen what makes you cheer. For me to take your criticism to heart, I'd first have to value your opinion. And the funny thing is, you guys are trying to attack me from like a moral standpoint, as if you hold any moral high ground whatsoever. I think stupid people should walk off a cliff. Like, no, your beliefs are fucking horrible. You have no morals. You support some of the worst things that have ever been created on this earth. Please know that I do not give a fuck what you think of me. Because like I said before, to feel anything about your criticism, I'd first have to value your opinion. I'd first have to think that you're a good person. I'd first have to think that you have some kind of moral fucking high ground.
I don't think this is a good image to try to quote a cartoon. I think that's kind of dumb. You're trying to be super professional and all this, and that was the most unprofessional thing you could have done, especially against some kids. I mean, honestly, you out the fact that these are, uneducated kids that are just going through papers that are sent to them. They're basically speaking off of what would be almost like a script. I don't see where he's going to win in this one. He's pretty much probably pissed off a lot of people, and I don't think even people that are close to him can find a way to make this make sense. I've seen a few other TikToks saying, look, just apologize. Say you didn't mean it. Say you misspoke and what you actually meant was this, that, and the other. Like, people were still trying to give him an out. It's whatever. If you follow him, you follow him. If you think there's a way to have an out, you find a way out. I don't care. But the fact is, you did say it. The internet is forever. There's no way to turn back time. There's no way to fix this. You have tarnished yourself a little bit. I'm pretty sure lost followers at some point. Not to mention, when people hear you're willing to off people, that's going to make future job endeavors look bad. You are a business owner. Nobody's going to want to do business with somebody who openly talks about ending people like that. But yeah, that's pretty much an up-to-date thing. I've never touched on base on this guy. Probably will not ever again, just because this is going to be the wildest I think it would get. If it gets any wilder, I'll keep you guys up to date, but I doubt it. I'm pretty sure things are going to die down at some point. But I thought everybody would like to hear that. Tell me what you think. Y'all have a good one.